Hello everybody and welcome back to another video from Learning is Fun. So in this video we are going to be talking about food chains. Let's head right into the video. But before we start, make sure you go and follow our Instagram on Learn It's Fun. It's going to be on the screen right now. And we are leaving the link in the description box down below. What is a food chain? A food chain is a linear network of links in a food web starting from producer organisms such as grass or trees, which use radiation from the sun to make their food, and ending at apex predator species like grizzly bears or killer whales. Detritivores like earthworms or woodlice, or decomposer species such as fungi or bacteria. A food chain also shows how organisms are related with each other by the food they eat. Each level of a food chain represents a different trophic level. A food chain differs from a food web because the complex network of different animals' feeding relations are aggregated and the chain only follows a direct linear pathway of one animal at a time. Natural interconnections between food chains make it a food web. A common metric used to quantify food web trophic structure is food chain length. In its simplest form, the length of a chain is the number of links between a trophic consumer and the base of the web. The main chain length of an entire web is the arithmetic average of the length of all chains in a food web. The food chain is an energy source diagram. The food chain starts with a producer, then goes on with a primary consumer, which would eat the producer, then a secondary consumer would eat the primary consumer, and finally the tertiary consumer would eat the secondary consumer, and that's how food chains work. Examples of a food chain is a green plant as the producer, a snail as the primary consumer, the secondary consumer, which is the frog, and finally there is a tertiary consumer, which is the snake in this food chain, but could extend a lot longer, and there would be different producers and consumers. Food chains are very important for the survival of most species. When only one element is removed from the food chain, it can result in extinction of a species in some case. A producer can use either solar energy or chemical energy to convert organisms into usable compounds because the sun is necessary for photosynthesis. Life could not exist if the sun disappeared. Decomposers, which feed on dead animals, break down the organic compounds into simple nutrients that are returned to the soil. These are the simple nutrients that plants require to create organic compounds. It is estimated that there are more than 100,000 different decomposers in existence. Many food webs have a keystone species. A keystone species is a species that has a large impact on the surrounding environment and can directly affect the food chain. If this keystone species dies off, it can set the entire food chain off balance. Keystone species keep herbivores from depleting all of the foliage in their environment and preventing a mass extinction. Food chains were first introduced by the Arab scientist and philosopher Al-Jahiz in the 10th century, and later popularized in a book published in 1927 by Charles Elton, which also introduced the first food web concept. Thank you everybody for watching this video, and see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye! This is part 1 because we can't continue every single thing in this video. Bye bye!